of my own choice, awakened by my own voice.
Alright, so we're here today, Knicks fans, with the first episode of NBA Everything for the Week.
Everything for the week. What would my name be?
I don't know.
Joel. You can just call me Joel.
We got Joel here.
That's who I am.
I'm Lewis. Lewis with the pick on Instagram.
I got the pen for the teaching.
Yeah. So we're covering a couple of topics. First off, we're gonna talk about Lonzo Ball and
triple double.
his triple double.
He's the youngest player with a triple double, by the way.
Does it really mean something?
Could not. I mean, there's been a lot of talk. People say that they were comparing him to Jason Kidd.
I don't see him doing what Jason Kidd did for a team, but
no one thought Jason Kidd could do what Jason Kidd could do for a team when he started as well. And those stats we're talking about 7 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. People were like, "Oh, these are Jason Kidd stats." There's a lot of bums you can name who had those same stats, who never made it out their 5th year in the league, who had those same stats. So I never understood why people picked Jason Kidd and was like, "Oh."
Well, I think there's intangibles that people can compare, and there's reasons why people like J Kidd that didn't necessarily show up on the box score, so they're trying to say that maybe Lonzo's doing things that are not showing up on the box score. But realistically, I don't see it, because I don't see the hustle, I don't see the determination, I don't see him taking on oversized guys and trying to guard everybody and diving for balls the way Kidd used to, and just that type of heart and intensity. I don't see it.
Yeah, you're not the first person to say that too. It's a confidence thing in the league. And look, let's be honest. We're only talking about this. Anyone's only talking about this because of his dad.
Let's just be real.
There's no other hype necessary when you talk about my son could be Steph now. My son's the best draft.
Anytime I've watched him play, even when he's done good stuff, I feel like it's underwhelming.
Yeah, because he's not he's not like Jason Tatum. He's not like a overwhelmingly dominant rookie.
But more than that,
Ben Simmons.
And if he doesn't have that, he doesn't have technique either. I don't like to see his jump shot. It's just
right. You said that. You don't like.
It's no flow. It's 2 motions. It's cross the body. I mean, if in real life, if he shows up to a New York City park and he tries to shoot that, I'm just swiping it with my left hand all day. And I'm going to keep that left hand there because I know he's got to run across his body with the shot.
See, that's the basketball technique.
He's not bouncing the ball and coming straight up close to his body where it's hard to block. He's swinging it around this way where you can just boom.
Yeah, I mean, Lonzo's also shooting 29% from 3.
Sounds where he'll be at.
Amongst the lowest. Oh, it's 23% from the league. Pretty low. He's making
Record
1 out of 5.
low.
He's making 1 out of 5. It's a confidence thing, you have a bad game. You're gonna get more flack for it than every other rookie in the league. That's your dad's fault. What can you do? His brother just got locked up in China for shoplifting.
Silly.
I think personally, potentially, he does have a natural gift of passing, and he's a giving player. Some players want to try to take what they can get on their own by themselves. Iverson, Kobe. You know what I mean?
It's true.
These people, I'm gonna give me James Harden. They're give me the ball. I'm gonna win this. He's not that kind of guy. And honestly, you can tell when someone wants to take the last shot in the game.
Yeah.
He does not want to take the last shot in the game.
I hear that.
People shy away from that.
I just also feel like he's not capable of that. He's not capable of taking over.
No, maybe not. I mean, he's 19. Not often do you find 19-year-olds that are taking. Ben Simmons is fake a ringer because his real rookie season should have been last year. But
that's true.
Ben Simmons
doesn't
shy away.
Griffin.
Yeah. He was rookie of the year. So I'd say overall the jury's still out. I don't know if the Lakers will make the playoffs because the West is wild.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? Timberwolves, Thunder.
What do you
Warriors,
think about the
Houston.
Warriors? Are they a lock to win it?
For me, probably. Now the 3 losses and already no one still lost confidence in them. Yeah. I just watched them play the Sixers yesterday.
True.
Clay. It's the transition threes, man. If you play ball and you're in a game and you're trying to come back, them quick Clay, then Durant, then Steph.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
You're going 2 for 3. you're playing 2 points versus their 3 points often, right?
Yeah, because you don't have no one in transition. Maybe the Rockets a little bit, because Eric Gordon is a good shooter. James Harden is a good shooter. Chris Paul doesn't take a lot of threes, but he can knock down an open one.
Yeah.
Trevor Ariza also can knock down. So maybe the Rockets are the biggest threat in the West for them.
Yeah.
They can really run a score.
I think the biggest thing for them too is even their unlikely shooter, Draymond Green, can hit some threes.
Yeah.
So
top of the key,
when he's up there setting a screen, his guy might not be up that high, and they can constantly just keep shooting threes on you. They can find somebody open.
I mean, for me, their biggest challenge is probably, the NBA Finals is probably going to be the Western Conference Finals.
Right. Do you think the Celtics are legit and they're going to be the ones challenging them?
No, I still think the Celtics. Now, look, the Celtics won today against the Raptors.
Right.
Without Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving had a myofascial fracture, and he didn't play against the Raptors, who had everyone. Kyle, Valanciunas, DeRozan, Ibaka. They had everybody
going.
And they still lost in Boston. You know, it came down to the last second. They only won by 1. DeRozan took the last shot over Jaylen Brown, missed. Game over. They win. The Celtics win. But I think that they'll probably go 6 or 7 with the Cavs. It's a shame Gordon Hayward broke his foot in 7, because that could have really been.
I think it doesn't necessarily matter for their structure of their team though, because Jason Tatum is a lot better than they expected, and I knew he would be. And he fills that same role. And I think if they didn't give Hayward that type of money, he would be the guy.
Yeah, Gordon's a consistently good scorer. I don't know if he'll score 10 straight points for you. He'll wild out like that. But he's consistent. He'll shoot a good percentage.
I think Tatum will. Tatum will wild out.
Tatum is a natural scorer. Like, he has moves, spin moves, pump fakes. He has moves, and that's good. And when it comes to a series against the Cavs, you really can't count against LeBron in the playoffs, because he doesn't play that.
And what do you think about, since we're on that, Kyrie, Isaiah, Boston, Cleveland?
Look, let's be real. Kyrie is a better basketball point guard than Isaiah is. Right? Isaiah is electrifying. He's great. Kyrie is a better player. Kyrie has shown he's a better player. So far, Isaiah's injured. He won't be back to probably like All-Star break time. But Kyrie, they've won 12 straight games now after they beat the Raptors.
True.
He's dropping 30 a night.
I think even without what's going on, Isaiah cannot guard Kyrie. He can't guard most people.
Very few people could guard Kyrie. And Isaiah's a defensive liability because he's 5'9", 10 at the most. He can score too. Not many people can stay in front of him because he's so quick. His first move to the basket is like Eric Gordon's. He's by you. And he could finish at the basket. Steph, Kyrie, and Isaiah for finishing at the rim, and maybe Harden are probably the best 4 point guards finishing at the rim.
Yeah.
And Kyrie probably has the second or first best handles in the NBA. So, what are you going to do? Kyrie's not scared to take the last shot.
No.
At all. And you need people like that on your team. As much as people hate Kobe, you don't want to be the one that missed that shot. Kobe doesn't care if he misses or makes.
And I think he put himself in a position where if he's hot, that team will allow him to dominate. 40 and have 50-point nights. And
they're going to need that from him some nights
Push
too.
His boundaries.
Because their second unit is not all that crazy in terms of skill. Now, if they ever get to a point where they're in the finals with the Warriors, there's no one that can guard Durant. Kyrie will give you 30, but Steph will also give you 30. There's really no answer for Klay Thompson.
And there's not a lot of offensive guys in the East like him to really match up. Where there's other strengths in teams like the Knicks, but that's more at the forward spot, at the center position with Cantor, which leads me to my next question. What do you think, and where do you think that the Knicks will land? I'm biased. I'm immediately going to say I think I got them at around 4 or 3. I think they can do 4.
He's a real Knicks fan. Okay, so 3 I think is high for the Knicks.
Right.
Because, look, let's be honest. Almost everyone really talented left the East last offseason. I still think Cavs, Celtics, and Raptors are probably your top 3 seeds, right? I do think the Knicks could potentially finish 4th or 5th, definitely, because who's their competition in the East in terms of playoff spots? You have Celtics, Raptors, Cleveland,
Right.
Knicks. Definitely not, the Orlando Magic or
Trash. Well, although they did play good, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams.
The Pacers. Victor Oladipo he got traded to the Thunder last year, right? And for Paul George. And he was struggling. He was averaging like 14, 13 as a shooting guard because he couldn't play with Westbrook.
I don't think he's never really
Now
got
he's averaging
acclimated to NBA, but he's
Victor?
improving.
Oh yeah, I mean he's averaging like he's dropping like 20 plus a night. He's had several 30-point games already for Indiana because there's no all-star and there's no superstar on that team.
He's off the radar for a lot of people.
As a two-guard, yes.
Do not have them. They're not prepping for him.
No, I mean when you're playing the Pacers, who are you prepping for? You know what I mean? Everyone's like, if there was 2K ratings, everyone's like a consistent like 65 to 75. No one's above that.
Right.
You don't have. There's no one you have to particularly worry about. But they won a few games.
Small market team. You're not really stressing them.
Yeah. The Heat, losing record still. Orlando's still losing record. The Brooklyn Nets.
So you think, as far as elimination goes, they're 5-6? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I think they could go 4 to 5 seed. Kristaps is a legitimate all-star. He's probably going to be a legitimate perennial all-star.
Yes.
He's a big man who shoots threes. He's like Dirk, but with handles.
I think he's up there with the MVP candidate. I mean, especially with the fact that he's basically been given the reins this year. This is the first year he's been given the reins without Melo and has completely turned things around for the Knicks.
Yeah, I think they have a good system. They also don't have, it's his team.
Right.
They don't have a clear-cut number 2 on the Knicks.
True.
Right? There's no clear-cut number 2 above a cup player yet.
Any other guy could kind of step up and be that number 2 on the
I gave 70 M's to Tim Hardaway.
Right.
It's a lot of bread.
I think Cantor is key.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys cannot
He's
guard
a double-double.
They can't guard him. I feel like there's a lot of guys who cannot guard him in the East.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the East that can't guard me, but you feel me? But either way, I think Knicks definitely could be 4 or 5. I don't see them beating the Raptors or the Celtics or the Cavs, only because those teams are playoff tested. Knicks haven't been in the playoffs since the 55 season when they faced the Heat,
right,
in the first round.
Terrible.
That's years ago. That was before LeBron went to Cleveland. And they got swept.
Right, Melo was there?
Of course Melo was there, yeah.
And he was unwilling to pass to Amari, kind of like he was unwilling to pass to KP.
Melo is your quintessential, 7 for 23, 26 points. Right. So, he's shoot first. He's shoot first on the Thunder, too.
Ask questions last.
The Thunder have been struggling. They've been losing to teams that they really shouldn't have been losing to.
True. I expect them to do that, unfortunately.
There's only one basketball. 3 superstars doesn't always make sense, especially 3 ball-hungry superstars.
Right.
The Rockets are, they're 10-3. Without the Chris Paul hasn't been playing the past 6, 7, 8 games.
Right.
And they're winning. They beat the Cavs.
Any good games for us to look out for this week?
The Warriors play the Celtics again on the road. The Warriors have a road trip this
Aside from the Knick game, too. Knick game Monday. Cleveland on the menu.
Is that who they play?
I'm pretty sure it's Cleveland.
They do play Cleveland. Because LeBron made a comment about the Knicks rookie and who they drafted.
Right.
And he made that comment because they're about to play the Knicks. He said they should have took Dennis Smith Jr., who is the guard for the Mavericks. He went number 9.
I like Dennis Smith Jr. I enjoy his highlights. I don't think that he fits on our team because he's a score first. We got the right guy that we need. And hopefully he develops and matures gradually into the player he's already showing us that he is. Mm-hmm. He just gets more responsibility as far as more minutes. But what is LeBron even saying and why does it matter?
I think that LeBron does not like Phil Jackson. And he doesn't like Phil Jackson because of the things Phil Jackson said. It was an unceremonious departure for Phil Jackson from the New York organization. Right. They were giving him 10 M's a year, by the way. By far the highest paid president.
Go with it.
And that was the last thing he did before he left. He picked Frank ahead of Dennis. And I think that was just LeBron, I'd like to think he's not petty, but he sounds like he is pretty petty.
He seems
and
petty.
I think
it's
not
LeBron's too. He's on GM mode a little too often. He needs to chill out. Obviously, he's got some things to work out because Kyrie didn't want to stick with him. They didn't want to do the Batman Robin thing.
Well,
and
yeah, Kyrie didn't
he's
want to
gonna have to take a little credit for that, as far as not being able to keep the guys around him happy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, LeBron won this ring. No one takes that away from him, whether it was because of suspensions or injuries or whatever. He won his ring. After he won that ring, he got all his boys paid. Everyone got crazy contracts. We're talking about J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson.
Trash.
You know what I mean?
Trash.
Amon Shumpert.
Yeah.
Now, these cats aren't terrible, but they're not worth the bread.
Maybe one day LeBron will be a GM, but I don't think he's making a good one now. And he should just focus on winning. After all, he's lost the last 2 years, right?
No, he lost last year, but he won the year before. But,
He's
he's not going to win a ring
this
again unless he goes somewhere and teams up, because Wade is not the answer.
And he's going to have to modify his game.
He doesn't do that, though. That's the problem. Everyone has to adjust to playing with him. LeBron doesn't adjust playing with you. Isaiah's going to come back, and that's why they lose a few games.
He's not going to continue to stay at the same level that he's been at. Everyone has to change a bit.
Yeah, he's definitely the most athletic, physically gifted basketball player ever. That's not questionable. Whether he's the best ever, different conversation.
He's not as active as he was before. I don't watch him on the court and see him all over the place like he used to be. Or running.
He was jumping out the roof like
he can still jump.
But he can, when he puts his head down and goes to the rim, still no one's gonna stop him.
It's over.
So he can really average 30 calmly, like with ease. Kevin Love,
they're going for it. I like him, but I think that he needs to just chill out. And this is today's episode.
We'll have more for you, for sure.
We'll have more.
That was quick.
Nightmare of my own choice, awakened by my own voice. You switched it and switched it again, and this time it'll be different, my friend. I swear this time it's different, I swear this time it's different.